What's going on, trading card game players? Figs here with Dominic Rushing, one of TCGs Finest on Tearlaments. How was your tournament this weekend?
So it was fine. Nice old 7 rounds. Only matchup I was worried about, they ended up bricking, so didn't really have to worry about that too much.
We love those. Yep, we love those.
Perfectly fine facing lab or rescues, which is what I faced the majority of the time. Because targeted interaction, majority of their stuff pops, triggers all your tier stuff, all good. But overall, it was very fun. Had a jolly good time here at Millennium Games. You watch the VOD, watch the entire stream on Millennium Games Twitch. But
Yep, they got the whole VOD on the Millennium Twitch. But yeah, it was a store championship. It's his 2P. This is the second time he's won our store championship. So, he's representing Millennium, as one of the best players. The prizing was a QCR Typhon. Real nice, real nice. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get to the deck profile. It's Tearlaments, so we'll start with the main deck. Go on ahead.
So first off, we'll have the 3 one-ofs, because you can only run them at 1.
RIP.
Nothing really need to explain about them. They're what they are. They're good. And then 3 Rhino. Standard, no matter what. 3 Rhino, get your names. All that stuff. 3 Tier Cash. Definitely really good. You can banish any fenders you mill off of your millers to just get her out, mill 3 or mill 2 if you send her as well. Also just a bigger body. And then we go into Horus.
Yes.
Horus stuff next. 3 Imseti. Standard. Triggers a yugioh, triggers Kelbeck. Draw a card, then mill 5 after searching your King Sark, so you have that guarantee, so you don't mill them all. And then, as in other names, Happy, Dumatef. Happy's better than Dumatef, just don't open either.
100%.
Because just being able to get like Rhinoheart after he banishes himself back, or just getting back any banished traps.
Yep.
Overall, really good. This just swings big. That's it. It has drawn cards, but not that often. And then we go into the part of the deck that everyone hates.
The broken cards. The other custom cards.
Keldo, Kelbeck, mill 5, triggered off King Sark, triggered off Imseti, triggered off of pretty much anything.
Everything.
Really fun to use. Trigger off Super Poly too. It's really nice. And then Shufflers, triggers your planet, shuffle stuff back that you need. You can even shuffle back your Soliak if you mill them, so you can get them back and shuffle back King Sarks. And then we go to the one, the only, Fenrir. If you look at the stream, I did summon him in defense, muscle memory a few times when I should have summoned him in attack. But overall, just really good card. Searches tier cache, interruption. Very annoying for people to deal with. And then we go to King of the Swamp. Allows you to make root close, allows you to make Grapha. Not running poly. Don't really need it. Have bricked on it before. Not really that worth bricking on it.
Yeah, I think it's solid, but it's just one of those cards where it's like, it feels kind of win more, because it's like if your deck's already functioning the way it should, you're now just having to combine other cards on the field in hand that you may not necessarily want to. I mean, I can understand it may enable some combos, but I think just having the King of the Swamp name as your substitutions is just great.
Yeah, overall really good. He's also an Aqua. Point for Kaleido Heart, because if you have Rhinoheart Engrave, he's an Aqua, because he doesn't care about tier names.
Right.
And then we go on to the Dangers. 2 Nessie.
QCRs.
And then 2 Mothman. I think you could get by with just 1 and 1. I did end up, like when I sided out, I would side out 1 and 1, just so I could keep them.
Right.
Overall, they can help you trigger stuff if you need to. Just seeing more cards, very important, especially Nessie. You can see Mothman, and then Mothman lets you choose if they hit it. So those are the 2 best dangers to run, because they kind of recycle themselves.
Right.
You're not losing anything when you discard them, and they can potentially even get you more advantage. And then that's all for monsters, so we go on to spells. 3, Hurler Rhino, standard, gets you going, more interruption through popping cards by whenever you do what you're wanting to do. And then the buff affecting fusion monsters makes your monsters big. Massive. And then 2 Scream. 2 instead of 3, because it's not doing anything on its own. You need to have a tier name. And then debuffs are strong. And then searching Soliak.
Yeah, that card sits on the board for too long. It just does way too much.
Yep. And then we have the 3 King Sark. Absolutely necessary for Horus.
Yep.
You can run 2 if you want to. I just think 3 is better, because you are milling your deck a lot. You don't want to run out and then have to use a shuffler to shuffle 1 back. So I think 3 is the perfect number. And, when in doubt, Sark, pitch a yugioh.
Right.
And then 3, Super Poly, Board Breaker. Overall, really good card. Triggers, like I said, a yugioh and Kelbeck to allow you to mill 5 immediately after fusing their board away, so they still have nothing. Also, just making Mud Dragon against a lot of decks is really good. Like Rescue Ace, Mud Dragon turns off their entire game plan because they target.
Yeah, and I mean that card just not only just triggers names, but it also triggers people because that card's just absolutely cracked.
Absolutely should not be at 3.
Oh, 100%.
And then 1 Foolish, 1 Called By. Foolish, another combo starter.
Right.
No matter what, you can send a mill 5, you can send any name, whatever you really need in that scenario. Called By because Shifter.
Yeah.
Shifter, Droll, hand traps in general.
We want to play the game.
Yeah, I just want to play the game. And then we have 2 Soliak, not just 1, just 2. Basically M-Perm and searches a name when it's sent off card effect. Just basically get you what you want. And then last but not least, Trivia Karma. Shout out to Figs for actually bringing it. Came up quite a few times just searching Planet. It also can search Soliak if you already have access to Planet. I didn't use its effect on field at all because that's really not what you want to do. You just want to use it to search Planet. But overall, really good card. But that is indeed the main deck.
You know how many in the main?
43.
43. Interesting.
43. Tried to get it down to 40, but just way too hard.
There's just so many good cards to play in the deck, and I mean, I think it's fine going over 40, especially when you're playing a lot of non-engine cards that do facilitate playing the game. So I think it's fine.
Also, only hand trap in the deck is pretty much Havness.
Yeah.
Just only hand trap you need in tier. You don't.
Yeah.
You,
I mean, even tier cash can kind of be a hand trap because once if he mills 3, he hits something good.
It can be. It depends.
Yeah.
And then on to the extra decks. So in terms of link monsters, there's only 3: IP, SP, Dark. Don't need any real more than that. IP and SP. SP just best link monster right now in the game. Dark's really good into a lot of decks. Like if you face the off-branded player, steal the Dragoon. Pretty funny.
Yeah. Now, you said there's only 3 links. Have you considered Cross Sheep? I know a lot of people like playing Cross Sheep.
It's definitely an option. It's not something I would personally run because it's like if I'm making Cross Sheep, I'm probably better off just making like SP or IP.
Fair enough.
Just overall, not that impactful enough for me. But it's definitely an option you can definitely try at home.
Okay.
Next, onto the fusions. First, we have Mud Dragon and Garura, your pseudo generics.
Right.
If you can't make any big ones or you're missing King of the Swamp, these are the 2 you'll be making. The draw one is so impactful, and then this just is so good into so many different matchups right now because targeting is very prevalent, and just they have to respect the Mud Dragon. The thing you know about Mud Dragon, it affects your opponent's monster's board too. So, like, say you're facing a deck that has to target their own monsters, you call their attribute, they can't target theirs, but you still can. And then Kaleido Heart, Root Colosse, the standard. If only Kid Colosse was still legal, you'd be able to make this without needing King of the Swamp, and this would come up more. But this card's absolutely insane. Can't be super polyed. Spin back anything. Negating a summon is good. And then next, we have my favorite fusion monster in this deck, Grapha.
I wonder why.
I love Dark Roll.
Yeah, of course.
Come up so many times, just modifying an effect. Like in the game 1 of the finals, in the final match, I ended with Grapha and Toad. Grapha is so good because I had two names in hand. Just being able to pitch a name and getting the effect while modifying your opponent's effect. It's not direct negation, so they can't really activate another one. And just getting me more bonuses. And then this card honestly didn't come up once. Jago Sapelia was not summoned once at all yesterday. I don't know why. It just didn't come up at all. Still
fair.
very important to have, especially because of the ability to interrupt. Definitely good into if you ever face Fluanderies or something like that. Just shuts off them entirely.
Right.
And then that's it for fusions. Other fusions you can definitely run. You can run a small shit all package if you really want to, but
nah, I think it's
consistent enough.
yeah. I think what you had going here is more than enough.
Then next we have our Xyz. So Abyss Dweller, Redoer. Abyss Dweller in the mirror. Any deck that does graveyard stuff, just make Dweller. You get out 4s really easily.
Right.
And then Time Thief Redoer, Tearlaments staple, trigger your tier effects because it detaches for effect. Next, shout out to Crush Cards Ryan for telling me to do this. Bahamut, Toad, Mud Dragons of Water, Rhinoheart's Water. Just slap those together, make Toad. Toad's a really good card.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, Photon Lord, Zombie Vampire, the payoff for Horus pretty much.
Right.
Like the extra payoff. Zombie Vampire, really strong. Galaxy S Photon Lord, Monster Negate, also really massive.
How many times did you make number 90, out of curiosity?
Honestly, I made him once.
Okay.
And it was like making him was the reason I won that game.
Nice. Okay.
Because Typhon cannot swing over him, and he's still within the attack range to be able to be used under Typhon.
Right.
And then Son of Vampire, I didn't make too much, but it did come up a few times because usually when I didn't really get the horse package too much yesterday, not yesterday, on Saturday, but that is what it is.
Yeah.
That is the extra deck though.
Looks good. Looks good.
Other things people would run, like this guy, but I
Yeah.
don't have him, and I could probably find space, but we'll
Nah.
figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the Draco Stapelia, but I feel like I would rather have Draco Stapelia than him anyway.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I don't know.
Yep, onto sideboard. Just in case, just very generic sideboard. All the hand traps are in the sideboard. So droll.
Yep.
If you're not rolling droll at some point,
Yeah, it's got to be in the main or side somewhere.
yeah, there's something wrong because there's just matchups where you auto lose, like Centurion,
Right.
Dark World. If you don't have this in your sideboard, you're just losing.
Yeah.
Because you have no answer to them because you're not running hand traps naturally, and they're just stopping you from playing. And then DD Crow for the mirror and any other deck like Unchained, really
Right.
good. Get rid of the blue dog. Also good into Labyrinth to get rid of the big welcomes out of their grave after they use their first effect.
Yep.
Just to make sure they don't get that additional interruption. And then shout out Vic. I'm sorry that I gave you PTSD again. Evenly matched.
Good old evenly.
When in doubt, if you're facing a trap deck, you can even run it as a one of in going first, but don't recommend it. But definitely easiest card to side in, evenly matched, just break anything, any board basically.
Yeah.
And then 2 Lightning Storm. If you're facing Lab, evenly. If you're facing Rescue Ace, Lightning Storm is also good, but not as much in Lab because they'll just chain everything. But evenly matched is better against that. Doesn't come up as much as evenly, but it's still there just in case I need it.
Right.
Definitely could be the cutting point if you want to put other cards in your side deck, but I like it. And then 1 Mag, 1 Druid Swarm, more copies of DD Crow,
Right.
if need be. Also just advantage big bodies, stuff like that. And then 1 Heartbeat, 1 Crime. Heartbeat wasn't sided in once. Crime was, and I never saw it, except by milling it, which didn't help because it only does banish.
Right. Yeah. It's one of those cards where it's like if you can't search it directly, it's gonna be kind of rough. Obviously, getting to it with a one of, but
Yeah, it's just searchable off of Scream. But
Right.
If you already have, but you'd rather search Solic 9 times out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
But under that one niche scenario, it's still a side deck.
and even then, you'd rather have Stream on board anyways.
Yep. Heartbeat is in here in case I faced Horus. Shuffling back that King Sark
Yeah.
is just really, really good. Because then it shuffles it back. If you have the Imseti, you have the Imseti. If you don't, good luck getting that back.
Right.
But that was the list pretty much. Not much I would change other than maybe swapping out Draco Stapelia for something else, but definitely something to tinker with. I'll try to rock this for a little bit longer. Check out Catskill Regional will be coming up next month.
Yeah. We should hopefully be there.
We should hopefully be there. Definitely try to top that with this deck, of course. Maybe with a few changes, but we'll see depending on the format. Shoutouts I want to make.
Yes. Yes.
First and foremost, Figs Form, Papa Figgy.
Appreciate it.
And then, of course, the rest of TCGs Finest, best in Rochester. Just
Yes, sir.
testing, everything like that. And then also want to shout out Millennium Games, biggest game store in
Yes,
the
best
country. Best store for helping with such a wonderful environment to test and improve at this wonderful game called Yu-Gi-Oh! And then last but not least, I will shout out my mom's birthday was on 16th. So this win was dedicated to her.
Awesome. That's all I love to hear.
Not just me. It was to her.
Well, you definitely pulled through. It was nice to see you get first place